Alright everyone, and we're back. Let's take a look at the boiling sorry fish. I stick my chopsticks in the fish's nicely colored belly to check how far it's cooked.
上出来かな。ほい、さくら、パス。先に食卓に持って行ってくれ。はい、
お疲れ様です、先輩。
And Sakura a plate with the fish. But then, Sakura suddenly stops in her tracks as she remembered something really important.
さくら、どうした？忘れ物か？
Sakura may look like she's put together, but she can actually be really forgetful. It's not unusual for her to suddenly remember something out of the blue just like this. But that doesn't seem to be the case this morning.
さくら。
Sakura doesn't respond. She stares dumbfounded at my hand, but she seems to be unaware of her day's state.
先輩、その手の技、何ですか?
What a strange question.
は?
I pull my hand back.
あれ、本当だ。手の甲にあざができてる。おかしいな。ぶつけた覚えはないんだけど。
I'm not sure why, but a large bruise is forming on the back of my hand. It looks like it's a cut and it's forming a big welt. Pretty disgusting if I say so myself. Sakura looks ill, and she's fallen silent.
悪い、あとは任せた。湿布かなんか貼ってく。
I leave Sakura to take care of breakfast and head to the dojo. I might have hurt myself when I was sleeping, but either way I need to treat it. But for some reason, I can't get the image of Sakura being so awkward and distraught out of my head.
それじゃあ、先に行ってますね。
さくら、本当にいいのか？体調が悪いなら部活ぐらい休んでいいんだぞ。
いえ、大丈夫です。ちょっと頭痛がするだけですから、心配には及びません。体調が悪そうに見えるのは、先輩の気のせいですよ。私、すごく元気です。
She explains with a smile, but it's obvious she's just putting on a brave face.
すごく元気か。朝飯、一口も食べられなかったのにか？
She averts her eyes, looking uneasy. Sakura continues to look away and says,
失礼します。先輩の方こそ、休んでください。
She leaves. The dining table is neatly cleared, but there's an entire set of dishes with breakfast for one person in the kitchen sink untouched.
まったく、いきなりどうしたんだよ、さくらのやつ。
She is aware that your command seal is about to form. Sakura was in high spirits this morning, but then she suddenly got all quiet when she saw my injury, and everything she did from then was one mistake after another. She overfilled her teacup, she drenched her soy sauce over her omelet to the point that it turned black, and she sat down to eat with her apron still on. In the end, she hardly took a bite of her breakfast and headed off to school looking pale.
風邪でもひいたのかな、さくら。
I mumble as I finish cleaning up. Whatever it is, I've never seen Sakura act like that. I met Sakura 4 years ago in the summer, and it's been a year and a half since she started coming to my house to help with housework. And all that time, I've never seen Sakura look the way she did today. Fujine should be at the archery range, so I don't think there will be an issue there, but I should go and check on her sometime after school. Ah, right, we could skip some stuff. Good. I forget that the dialogue hides itself sometimes, unless I'm highlighting it. Classes end and it's time to go home. I can't wander around because I have work today. I shouldn't do anything at school. I should head straight to the neighboring town, but I'm worried about Sakura. Nothing will come from me worrying about her, but I should at least check to see if she's perked up. I walked through the first year's hall, which is on the 4th floor. There aren't any students walking down the hall, and there's only a handful of students hanging around the classroom. They're either at their clubs or headed home.
失敗 敗したな。これじゃさくらも部活に行ってる。
Well, I've come this far. Might as well check Sakura's classroom, and after I see that nobody's there, I'll head to work.
どれ？
I peek into Class 1B. The classroom is tinted red from the light of the setting sun pouring in through the windows. It's silent, giving the impression nobody's inside. There doesn't seem to be anybody in the classroom. All the students have gone to their respective destinations, except for one lone shadow that remained inside the red-soaked classroom.
さくら。
I step into the crimson-tinted world and say her name.
先輩
Her long hair is covering her face, but she looks even more wary than this morning.
どうしたんですか？うちのクラスに何か用事でも。
あ、いや、さくらのクラスに用事はない。単にさくらの様子が気になっただけだ。朝から体調悪そうだったから。
Sakura's face grows, if possible, even more downcast. She's obviously not well.
さくら、気分が悪いなら帰らないか。交差点までなら遅れるから一緒に帰ろう。
いいです。私どこも悪くありません。いつも通り部活に出て、終わったら先輩のところで夕飯をごちそうになるんです。悪くなんてないんです。だから気にしないでください。
She grabs her bag and starts walking so quickly it's almost as if she's trying to run away.
バカ、そんな顔で何言ってんだ。いいから部活は休め。だいたいな、そんなんで弓を引いても帰ってくるもんなんかないだろう。
I grab Sakura's hand as she tries to pass me. A loud thud echoes through the classroom. Sakura almost falls even though I only try grabbing her hand. I quickly pull Sakura's arm. As I tug Sakura so firmly, I learn she is surprisingly light.
びっくりした。さくら、本当に大丈夫か？足全然踏ん張り効いてないじゃないか。
Sakura averts her eyes apologetically. Honestly, what's gotten into her today?
とにかく部活は休みだ。俺もバイト休むから今日はおとなしく家に帰ろう。
Sakura doesn't respond, keeping quiet. She doesn't shake off my hand, nor does it look like she's going to listen to me.
どうしたんだよさくら。そんなんじゃ部活に出ても意味ないって分かってるだろ。
それは先輩の言う通りです。けど兄さんが呼んでるから。
Which is why I need to go, she adds almost inaudibly. Damn. I never have any reply to that look. I hear the Mato family circumstances are complicated and I can't really put myself in the middle of Shinji and Sakura. No matter how much I consider Sakura my family, the people in the Mato household are her real ones. As an outsider, my words will fall on deaf ears. Anything I said would just seem like unnecessary meddling.
部活には顔を出すだけか、さくら。
私だって今は弓を引けないって分かってます。
そうか。要するにシンジの顔を立てるだけってことだな。
I pull out a chair and sit on it. Then I pull another chair from the neighboring desk.
先輩、
いいから座れ。部活に行くのはもう止めない。その代わりもうちょっと休んでいけ。シンジには俺から誘われて断るのに時間がかかったって言えばいい。
そんなこと言えません。そんなこと言ったら兄さんまた先輩に
シンジがちょっかい出してくるのはいつものことだよ。いいじゃんか。毎日会話のネタがあってあいつも楽だろ。それにこの話は嘘でも何でもない真っ白な真実なんだから後ろめたいこともない。
I gesture for Sakura to sit down. Sakura reluctantly sits in the chair.
よしよし。じゃあちょっと待っててくれ。 生徒会室からお茶くすねてくるからな。俺が戻ってくるまで席を立つのは禁止だぞ。
先輩、お茶をくすねてくるって、そんなことしたら怒られるんじゃ。
先生に見つかったらな。何、この手のことには慣れてる。廊下でばったり会わない限り問題ないから。
できません。先輩が危ないことしてる時に休んでるなんてもってのほかです。先輩、私お茶なんていいですから。
だから危なくないって。いいから座ってろよ。教室で茶を飲むってのも一度ぐらいはいいもんだ。
This crazy argument over tea. I can't believe it. I jump out into the hallway. The student council room isn't that far. I'll go get a whole tea set real quick to surprise Sakura. Time passes. Sakura and I both drink tea in the classroom, which seems ludicrous, but we look out the window as we have nothing better to do. The last rays of the sunset filter in through the window, stinging my eyes a bit. Sakura looks toward the sunset, her expression vacant. I don't have much to say, so I follow Sakura and keep my mouth shut. Since there's no conversation, time passes slowly. Sakura's not generally all that talkative, and it's not unusual for her to just stare blankly ahead. She seems to be more at ease when she's alone. Come to think of it, Sakura prefers to be alone. It's not that she wants to be away from the hustle and bustle so much as her seeming to want to be isolated from people around her, and she often chooses to look outside rather than keeping her attention in. Which is probably why she stayed alone in the classroom today. Sakura doesn't go out of her way to interact with people. Fujina and I are the exceptions. And if I weren't acquaintances with Shinji, Sakura wouldn't have had to interact with me at all, really. I sneak a glance at Sakura. 4 years ago when Shinji introduced me to her, Sakura seemed more like a little girl. Before I knew it, she was my underclassman, and even started coming to my house to help with the housework, and her childish appearance started to fade. Sakura has become beautiful. Well, she was pretty to begin with, but I guess I'd say she's grown too pretty. On top of that, she's sensible and so gentle. With all those great qualities, it's no wonder so many people say she's a beauty on par with Rin Tosaka. But there's something I just don't get. Sakura is often alone. She doesn't seem to have any friends from the Kyoto Club. And given that she was alone in the classroom after school, she may not have any friends in her class either. Now that I think about it, I only know the Sakura from the Kyoto Club and the Sakura at my house. I don't know what Sakura does or how she acts when she's at school, or the Mato family home. Just when I realized that, and as I continue to stare blankly at the reddened sky.
先輩、覚えてますか?
Sakura asks, without taking her gaze from the window.
覚えてるかって何を?
ずっと昔の話です。私がまだ先輩を知らなかった頃の話。
That's funny, because I was just thinking about that.
つまりさくらと知り合う前の話か?
はい、4年前、私が進学したばかりの頃です。まだ新しい学校に慣れてなくて、あてもなく廊下を歩いているとき、私、不思議なものを見たんですよ。あれは、一体どういう経緯だったんでしょうね。もう放課後で、グラウンドには陸上部の人もいないっていうのに、誰かが一人だけで走ってたんです。何をしてるのかなって見てみると、その人、一人で走り高跳びをしてました。
She giggles. It must be an endearing memory to Sakura if that blissful smile is anything to go by.
真っ赤な夕焼けだったんです。校庭も廊下もみんな真っ赤で、綺麗だけど寂しかった。そんな中でですね、一人でずっと走ってるんです。走って飛んで 戻してまた繰り返して、周りには誰もいなくてその高さを超えられないって分かってるのに、ずっと試し続けてました。頑張ればなんとかなるって問題じゃないんですよ。だってその棒、その人の身長よりずっと高かったんです。私から見ても無理だってわかるんだから、その人だってとっくに飛べないって分かってたと思うんです。
What? I understand the story, but I'm not sure what she's getting at. I don't think grueling solo practice after school is all that strange.
私、その時良くない子だったんです。嫌なことがあって誰かに八つ当たりしたかった。失敗しちゃえ、諦めちゃえって、その人がくじける瞬間が見たくなってずっと見てたんです。けどなかなか諦めてくれないんですよ、その人。何度も何度も見ているこっちが怖くなるくらいできっこないことを繰り返して、全然泣き言を言わなかったんです。
はあ、そりゃよっぽど切羽詰まってたんじゃないのか。明日がレギュラー選定でその高さを飛べないと選ばれないとか。
いいえ、それは違います。だってその人、陸上部でも何でもない人でしたから。
Huh? But why is Sakura laughing?
それでですね、私見ているうちに気がついたんです。その人別に何でもいいんだなって。今日たまたま自分のできないことにぶつかってなら負けないぞって意地を張ってただけなんです。そうして日が落ちて、その人は一人で片付けをして帰っちゃいました。すごく疲れてるのに何でもなかったみたいに平然とどっか行っちゃったんです。
わかんないやつだな。けどやめたってことは飛べたんだろ、そいつ。それ何メートルぐらいの高さだったんだ？
これがですね、結局飛べなかったんです。その人3時間もずーっと走って、どうやっても自分じゃ飛べないって納得しただけなんです。
うわ、落ちてないな、その話。
はい、あんまりにもまっすぐすぎてその人の心配をしちゃったぐらいです。その人はきっとすごく頼りがいのある人なんです。けどそこが不安で寂しかった。
Sakura sounds so lonely as she says that, and I'm afraid she should be entirely swallowed up into the red classroom.
はあ、話は分かったけど、それが何だってんだよ、さくら。
いえ、わからないのならいいんです。私にはそう見えただけで、その人自身にとっては日常茶飯事だったということで。
Sakura smiles warmly, seeming to have come out of her dark mood from earlier. Just then, I may be dense, but I realize who she's talking about. I actually don't remember it happening, but if it's a story from 4 years ago, it must have been a little after my old man died. I did some pretty reckless stuff every day, so I guess Sakura's story is just one instance of that.
ああ、さくら、つまりそれは。
はい、今私の前にいる上級生さんでした。あの頃は小柄だったから同じ学年かなって勘違いしちゃったんです。
Ugh, I really wish she wouldn't bring up my height when I was younger. Sure, I'm not that tall even now, but I still had a growth spurt.
そういうことです。私、その時から先輩のことは知ってたんですよ。
そっか、それは初耳。
I look away embarrassed that she saw me in such an awkward moment. And then,
私たち同じものを見てたんです。
Sakura gestures like she's praying. I'm not sure I understand what she's getting at.
Eh?
I ask, feeling concerned. But at that moment, the familiar school bell sounds, as if to deny my curiosity.
鐘鳴っちまったな。
It's been 30 minutes since I had her stay in the classroom with me. The time is 4:30.
さすがにこれ以上の遅刻はやばいよな。片付けはやっとくから、さくらは先に行っていいぞ。体、少しは良くなっただろ？
はい、おかげさまで元気いっぱいです。今日の夕飯は楽しみにしててください。
Sakura gets up. She doesn't seem like she's forcing it. She really does look better.
だって悪いさくら、俺これからバイトだ。今日は遅くなるから無理してうちに来なくていい。
はい、わかりました。ならお夕飯だけ作って置いていきますね。
Sakura quickly bows and leaves.
ま、いっか。
Fujin should be at my place, so she should be able to walk Sakura home when it's time. My livelihood's at stake too, so I better head over to work quickly. I ride the bus from school for 20 minutes. I arrive at Shinto, the neighboring town across the bridge.
なんだ、まだ5時前か。少し時間があるな。
There aren't many part-time jobs in the residential area of Miyama, but there are plenty in Shinto since it's a developing area. Our school allows students to hold part-time jobs, so I take on simple ones. I prefer my jobs to be physical, and the tougher and shorter they are, the better. I get paid all the while training my body, so it's like killing two birds with one stone. Today I'll work from 5 to 8 o'clock for a simple loading job. It may just be 3 hours of work, but it feels more like 6, since they make you work without a minute's rest. Which means I need to rest when I have the opportunity, even if it's just for 10 minutes. Walking around aimlessly would be a waste of energy, so I decided to rest at the park until it's time. This park is nestled between buildings, and it's like a giant plaza full of trees and shrubbery. A park should typically be filled with families and couples during weekends and holidays, but this one is deserted at this hour. In fairness, this place is always desolate no matter the day or time.
相変わらずだな、ここは。
I sigh in exasperation. The area is unkept, and it's really pretty ugly compared to the other places that are properly landscaped and maintained. As if the desolated location had set the mood, the wind itself blows cold and harsh. This place is the remnant of the great catastrophe that happened 10 years ago. It's the very place where I was saved from the brink of death.
なんで芝生とか植えないんだろう。いつまでもこのままってのはもったいない。
The area is quite large, so if they leveled it, there would be plenty of space to work in the park. I sit down on the benches, I think. With nothing else to do, I stare out over the burned area to pass the time. I don't remember anything that happened here. The only thing I remember is that it was hot and I couldn't breathe, and that some people died trying to save
どう
others.
してそうなのかな。
One adult here died because they were trying to save a child from a burning house. Another person was offered all of the available water to extinguish their raw, parched throat, while others in the same situation died. Someone here tried to flee the fire as fast as they could, but the people left behind died. And someone died here because they gave whatever it was that kept them alive to someone they didn't even know. I don't like thinking about that. Just thinking about people trying to help and becoming victims for their trouble makes me angry. Is it too much to ask for everyone to be saved and for them to get their happy ending afterward? All I want is to see people peacefully prevail. Why can't that happen?
それは難しい。シロの言っていることは誰も彼も救うということだからね。
That was Kiritsugu's response to the question when a very young me asked it. As a child, I honestly refused to accept that idea. But you saved me, Kiritsugu. I knew you were a magician and you could do anything. I knew you were a champion of justice who wouldn't let anyone suffer, and you did it without asking for any reward. That's why I always believed you managed to save everyone back then. In response to me shouting this at him, Kiritsugu looked more troubled than I'd ever seen him, and said something I remember to this day.
シロ、誰かを救うということは 誰かを助けないということなんだ。いいかい？正義の味方に助けられるのはね、正義の味方が助けた者だけなんだよ。当たり前のことだけど、これが正義の味方の定義なんだ。
Imagine there was a burglar and some hostages, and the burglar intends to kill the hostages. Under normal circumstances, a majority of those hostages would probably die. But if by some miracle all the hostages were saved, there's someone who didn't. The burglar, of course, since saving the hostages was done at the cost of his life. The people the champion of justice saves are the only those whom the champion of justice deems to save. That's why saving everyone is impossible. Even God can't do that.
それが天才ならなおさらだ。誰であろうと全てを助けるなんてできなかった。
The fire years ago was like that. As someone who was miraculously saved from the incident, it wasn't my place to say anything at this
け
point.
ど嫌だ。
I don't want anything like that. I don't like the idea that there's a limitation to who can be saved. No matter how impossible it may be, I need to reach out to help. I can't stand to see people around me die like back then. If the person I am now has been there 10 years ago, I would have thrown myself into the fire.
そのまま無駄死にしてたろうな。間違いなく。
That would have happened for sure. Jeez, I can't even fantasize in my head.
しまった。ぼんやりしてたら5時になっちまった。
A bell in the distance rings, chiming 5 o'clock. I get up from the bench and hurry up to my part-time job. By the time I'm done working, the sun has long since set. It's a little before 8 o'clock. I finished about 10 minutes earlier because I kind of overworked myself. Maybe it's because I stopped by that park before work. That might have motivated me to push myself harder. At the train station, the night is just getting started. There are a bunch of people milling about and the endless stream of cars on the road.
藤根にお土産はいいか。
I walk along the path as I gaze at the lighted building. It's the biggest building in Shinto, so I can't see all the way to the top. As I gaze at the building, enjoying the nighttime scenery. Huh? I think I see something bizarre.
なんだ今の。
I stop and try to look at the very top. I squint trying to bring what I see into focus, but it's like staring at grains of rice. It looks like someone I know. But I can't think why this girl would have a reason to be here. But she's just standing there and looking down at the city as the wind ruffles her hair. She doesn't seem to notice me down below. Actually, there's no way she could see me. Even my near-perfect vision enhanced with Magecraft can barely distinguish what's up there. I'm able to tell she's up there because she's isolated, but there's no way she would be able to pick me out of a crowd on the ground. Oh, how little you know, good sir. She's just looking down at the town. It seems like she's looking for something. I can almost feel her sharp gaze even at this distance. I forget how long it's been, but I continue to look up at the girl standing in the void. She stands at the top of a high tower. She's like a magician looking down at the surface world with the bright moon shining bright behind her. And then, she disappears, apparently done with whatever brought her up there. The rooftop stands empty, and the scenery returns back to nothing more than the beautiful night sky.
今の遠坂だったのかな。
I can't be sure, but I'm probably right about who it was at least. There aren't many girls I know who stand out like her, and besides, I'm not so out of it I'd fail to notice a girl I secretly admire.
そうか。にしても
Tosaka sure has a weird way of spending her time.